pouch across my body, this is not for fashion. This is not the playground, ain't no fist fight, bitch, I'm blasting.
Yo, what is good, YouTube? It's your boy Russian. Today, you see I got the glasses on. Man. It's Scholar Rush in the building. I did some math, I crunched the numbers, and I've got the cheapest collection for you guys. I'm going to have a whole spreadsheet. I'm going to put it up on the screen in a minute. I'm just give you guys kind of like an outline of what I did. So, I'm saying in between one of my classes the other day, I went through every collection. You'll see, I mean, it's kind of a little bit more difficult now because they got rid of the search auction house like this. So I went through every collection and I got a list, and it's in order too, so if you want to check the prices, whatever, and how it correlates with the cards. Every team except for I think the Timberwolves, I messed up on like Cat's not the first person in the line. But the prices go down from top of the collection to the bottom of the collection, and at the bottom I have the sum of how much that whole collection will cost, and then I marked the bottom the five cheapest collections. There's a couple that are close to it, but I marked the bottom 5 collections. I'll tell you guys what I think is the best plan of action for you to go through and get these tokens, and which team collections you should try to complete first. That'll give you the best, you know what I'm saying, bang for your buck, where you'll get the same amount of tokens, but you'll spend less coins. So I'm gonna put the motherfucking spreadsheet on the screen right now. Here you go. And I'm gonna just talk to y'all about it. You know what I'm saying, if you need to take a screenshot of it, whatever, it's something to help you, I'm saying. So I you know what I'm saying, even when I wasn't doing YouTube, right, this is something that I think would be helpful, that I would look up, you know what I'm saying, trying to find out what the cheapest collections is. So I decided to make one now, and I've got a whole spreadsheet that'll break that down for you guys. So as you can see, the green marks which ones are the cheapest. So the Bulls are under 50K, the Hawks are under 50K, the Hornets are just above 50K, the Knicks are under 50K, and then the Wizards are barely above 50K. And then you'll see the Magic are pretty close, the Pacers are pretty close, the Raptors are a little bit over 50K, Heat, Celtics, and Cavs. A lot of the teams are around 50K. A lot of them are pretty close in price, but the ones that I marked are going to be the cheapest ones to go for. First word of advice, stray away from the teams with the amethyst, all right? Giannis drives that team's like if Giannis was in that collection, that team's cheap. Giannis drives that team's collection up over 100K. The Clippers is pretty expensive because they've got 2 amethysts. The Lakers is the most expensive because you got LeBron and AD. If you stay away from that one, if anything, I'd sell those cards rather than lock them in the collection. Rockets is a little over 100K. Who else has an amethyst in the game? The Nets is a little bit over 100K. And then if you go through and look, like I said, the East is so much cheaper than the West. If you look at all of the West teams, they're all pretty expensive. A team like the Thunder that you think wouldn't be expensive is expensive because some of those silver players, people are price fixing them, so they're a lot more expensive. So you'll see the player that goes for 27K on the Thunder, 14K, makes it go up a lot in price. But I'd say primarily try to go after those East teams. If you need to look at this thing and it'll help you, go ahead, look at it. But I'll just go through each team from the top, and then we'll just go through that real quick. So the 76ers, first team, they're not super expensive. It's not one of the first ones I would do, but it's pretty cheap. I mean, some of the silvers might run you a little bit, and then Embiid's like 7K, Simmons is like 5K, nothing too crazy. The Bucks, I wouldn't go for the Bucks until Giannis's price starts to drop. I'd wait and hold off on trying to complete the Bucks or any with an amethyst until more cards start to drop, and then you see that those cards prices begin to fall drastically. The Cavs is pretty cheap. The Cavs is one of I skipped over the Bulls, my bad. The Bulls is the cheapest one. Some of the silvers are the most expensive. Levine is cheap, Markkanen is cheap. All those cards are cheap. You'll get into a couple silvers, and if you bid on cards, you'll be able to get a lot of these a lot cheaper. I would say definitely bid on cards. That'll make it a lot easier to get them cheaper. I just did buy nows. I didn't go through and do the bids. This is just a sum of all the lowest or mid-tier buy nows of what the cards were at the time that I looked. The Cavs as well, pretty cheap. You got, I think that's Chetty Osman that I have listed at 10K. There's a 10K silver, but other than that, everybody else is fairly cheap. There's a 7K and a 6K, but nothing too crazy. Same thing with the Celtics. There's one silver that was 15K last time I checked. I don't remember exactly who it was, but if you can get that one silver for knock it down. If you pay half price for that one silver that was 15K, that Celtics collection is one of the cheapest ones. So if you can try to bid on, I don't remember exactly which player that is, but if you can try to bid on it, and like I said, you can look, if you look at the collection and line it up with my list, you'll see that every team except for the Timberwolves is in order of that player on that team. Because if you look at the Timberwolves, I have 1,150 at the top. I messed up on the thing. That's one of the players at the bottom. Cat is the second player in the Timberwolves list. And then boom, we got the Hawks, pretty cheap as well. There's one silver that'll run you a little bit, but it's nothing too crazy. Like I said, sniping silvers is probably your best method to make MT in this game right now. At the beginning of the game, silvers are always the most coveted cards because they're not as often pulled as the really high tier or the higher tier sapphires, rubies, emeralds, things like that. And then they're not, just as trash as the bronzes. They're right in that intermediate area. So those will be a little bit more expensive. I'd suggest sniping after those. But Hawks, Hornets, Knicks, those are some of the cheaper ones. Heat's around the same price. The Heat last year was crazy. There's one Heat silver that was hitting for about 10K when I looked. Everybody else is fairly cheap. Jimmy Butler's over 5K, I believe, as well. The Magic as well, also cheap. You'll catch a few expensive silvers in there. I'd stray away from the Nets because you need KD and you need Kyrie, both pretty expensive. Everybody else is fairly cheap, but that KD is really what makes up the bulk of the price for the Nets. The Pacers is 52K. Like I said, a couple silvers in there that'll give you some issues. The Pistons, I'd stray away from the Pistons. There's a 15K silver and there's a 20K silver. I believe one of them's Luke Kennard and one of them's Langston Galloway. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But those are two expensive ones. You're paying 70K for that collection. It's not worth it. I would stay away from the Pistons collection right now unless you can get those players for cheap. And then the Raptors are around 55K, nothing too crazy. Like the most you'll be paying for a lot of these silvers in some of these collections that are around 50-something K is like 60K. And then there's certain collections that'll really drive the price up with a silver that goes for 10 to 15 to 20K because niggas is price fixing. Same thing with the Wizards, cheap, nothing too crazy. I think the most expensive card in there is like an 8,000 coin silver. And then we get down to the West. The Clippers, stay away from the Clippers at the moment until the prices begin to drop because you're going to be paying over 100K for two players and then everybody else is very cheap. The Grizzlies is 69K, which is kind of a lot. I'd probably stay away from the Grizzlies too because there's a couple of silvers. There's like 3 silvers in there that are close to 10K. That makes up, half of it just off of 3 silvers. So I wouldn't even go for that one at the moment. The Jazz is a decent collection, but there's just one silver that sticks out. I don't know exactly who that is off top, but that's 17K for that silver. You're gonna want to stay away from that, or at least try to bid snipe, or just snipe the cards in general. It's not worth it to pay 17K for some of these silvers right now for the tokens when the prices will continue to drop as time goes on. The Kings have 15 players on the team. In the West, they also have more players on the team as well. If you look at the West, like the reason the Knicks is cheap, the Hornets is cheap, is because the players aren't that good and they have like the least amount of players on the team. You'll see later with the Thunder though, the Thunder don't really have any good players on their team, but they're being price fixed like a motherfucker. So the Lakers, once again, stay away from the Lakers, super expensive. The Mavericks isn't too bad. Luka and Porzingis are the most expensive in there, and then the rest of the silvers are not that bad. So I'd say the Mavericks might be a decent one, and you'll get some pretty good use out of some pretty good cards for decent prices. 10 and 8K for Kristaps and Luka at this point in the game is not bad at all. The Nuggets last year was pretty expensive as well. Same as this year, pretty expensive, 70K for the Nuggets. I'd probably stay away. They try to tax on like Juan Hernangomez, Michael Porter Jr., Torrey Craig, things like that. Pelicans isn't too bad. Zion's expensive, but they have a lot of players on the team. I believe that's 14 or 15 players on the team. There's like one silver. There's like 2 silvers that are above 7K, and then everybody else is decent. Rockets, stay away from the Rockets. It's an amethyst in there. There's no point. And then Westbrook's about 10K as well. The Spurs as well, there's some expensive silvers as you get down the line. Like I said, if there's a whole bunch of expensive silvers that you see on this list, try to bid snipe them or try to actually snipe them. Don't pay these full prices for these cards because they will drop. Don't be a cornball. You don't need the tokens right now. You'll be alright. Grind your domination. You'll be straight. The Suns is pretty cheap as well. Suns don't really have anything crazy. I'd say the Suns is probably the best team to do in the West. Yeah, the Suns is the best team to do in the West by far. But knocking out the East will give you the most bang for your buck. The East is so much cheaper than the West. The Thunder, stay away from the Thunder. The Thunder have less players than all these teams, but there's almost a damn near 30K silver, 12K, 14K silver when I checked. Super expensive. Don't even do it. The Timberwolves, like I said, if you look at the top of the list, that's a bronze, but it starts with Cat at 8K. Timberwolves have some, you know what I'm saying? Those 4 or 5K cards will add up, yo. They'll keep adding up. That's why I say go for the cheaper ones at the moment or try to snipe the silvers. Because if you can get a card for 2,000 less coins, you can flip that, and then that you could try to snipe another silver. You know what I'm saying? It's just a process. It's a process. You know what I'm saying? On some Sixers shit. You got to trust that shit. And then Trailblazers. Trailblazers isn't too bad. Lillard's 15K. Gary Trent was up there for 10K when I saw. He might be cheaper, so you might be able to get the Blazers for a better one. And then the Warriors has Steph Curry, so I wouldn't go with that one. But Like I said, y'all need to screenshot the table. Go ahead. I just did this because I know it's something that would have helped me when I played my team, or it's something that I would be looking for on YouTube as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick video. I hope I was able to outline some of the cheaper teams for you guys, help you guys on your road to getting more tokens and trying to get up to that Galaxy Opal board. And if you guys did enjoy the video and it helped you out, please drop a like, hit the subscribe button for your boy. It really does help me out. I really do appreciate it. And until next time, it's been your boy Rush. I'm out, man. Peace.